Good evening and welcome to Freedom is a Constant Struggle on this April 7th, 2016. On April 1st, I want to thank my board op, Andrew Montoya, for working the controls today for us, and my guests, Pierre Labossiere and Robert Roth, will be coming up very shortly. On April 3rd, 2016, former Black Panther Abdul Majid joined the ancestors, a long-held U.S. political prisoners. Originally from Jamaica, New York, Abdul was imprisoned for over 30 years due to the FBI's counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO, that sought to eliminate or neutralize the Black Panther Party and other radical black organizations. An emergency fund has been set up to assist the family in covering the cost of the funeral. And please donate at www.abdullahmajid.com. That's ABDULLAHMAJID.com. We also commemorate the death of teenaged Panther Bobby Hutton, one of the first to join the party, shot dead by Oakland police on April 6, 1968. April is a month of martyrs. Today marks the 213th anniversary of the legendary Haitian general Toussaint Louverture, captured and tortured in a French prison till his death on April 7th, 1803. Haitians carried on the revolution until victory in 1804, making Haiti the first independent black republic of the world and the first colony to battle its way out of slavery. April is also the month two other revolutionary icons were martyred, both shot to death. On April 4th, 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, and on April 10th, 1993, Chris Hani, leader of Mkontosizwe Zulu for Spear of the Nation, the armed wing of the ANC of South Africa, was fatally shot in front of his home. Long live the revolutionary spirit of these three icons. Plus Abdul Majid and Bobby Hutton. With the co-founders of the Haiti Action Committee, Pierre Labossiere and Robert Roth, we will be discussing the latest events in Haiti as we honor the anniversary of the death of Toussaint Louverture. But first, I want to share with you a poem titled Home by Warsan Shire, a Kenyan-born Somali poet, writer, and educator based in London. It focuses on the refugee crisis. No one leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark. You only run for the border when you see the whole city running as well. Your neighbors running faster than you, breath bloody in their throats. The boy you went to school with, who kissed you dizzy behind the old tin factory, is holding a gun bigger than his body. You only leave home when home won't let you stay. No one leaves home unless home chases you. Fire under feet, hot blood in your belly. It's not something you ever thought of doing until the blade burnt threats into your neck, and even then you carried the anthem under your breath, only tearing up your passport in an airport toilet, sobbing as each mouthful of paper made it clear that you wouldn't be going back. You have to understand that no one puts their children in a boat unless the water is safer than the land. No one burns their palms under trains beneath carriages. No one spends days and nights in the stomach of a truck, feeding on newspaper unless the miles traveled means something more than journey. No one crawls under fences. No one wants to be beaten, pitied. No one chooses refugee camps or strip searches where your body is left aching, or prison because prison is safer than a city of fire, and one prison guard in the night is better than a truckload of men who look like your father. No one could take it. No one could stomach it. No one's skin would be tough enough. The go home blacks, refugees, dirty immigrants, asylum seekers sucking our country dry, niggers with their hands out. They smell strange, savage, messed up their country, and now they want to mess up ours. How do the words, the dirty looks, roll off your backs? Maybe because the blow is softer than a limb torn off. Or the words are more tender than 14 men between your legs, or the insults are easier to swallow than rubble, than bone, than your child body in pieces. I want to go home, but home is the mouth of a shark. Home is the barrel of the gun, and no one would leave home unless home chased you to the shore, unless home told you to quicken your legs, leave your clothes behind, crawl through the desert, wade through the oceans, drown, save, be hunger, beg, forget pride. Your survival is more important. No one leaves home until home is a sweaty voice in your ear saying, leave, run away from me now. I don't know what I've become, but I know that anywhere is safer than here. And now I want to introduce my dear friends, as well as comrades and activists. Pierre Labossiere, co-founder of the Haiti Action Committee. By the way, please make note of the Haiti Solidarity website, www.haitisolidarity.net. Originally from Haiti, Pierre has been a dedicated activist in the struggle to liberate Haiti for decades. He actively supported the return to Haiti of former President Jean-Bertrand Aristide from exile in the U.S. in the early 1990s, was in Haiti to welcome him back from exile in South Africa, and has continued to support Aristide and the party of the Haitian majority, Famille Lavalas, or the Lavalas family. Robert Roth is also co-founder of the Haiti Action Committee and a board member of the Haiti Emergency Relief Fund. He has been to Haiti 5 times, most recently for the return of President Aristide in March of 2011, and Robert has been a social studies U.S. history teacher in San Francisco Public Schools for the past 28 years. He currently teaches at Mission High School, where he is also the Social Studies Department Chair. He is a lifelong activist working in international solidarity movements and in support of freeing all political prisoners. He was a member of the committee to free the SF-8, where we worked together.
We sure
and
did.
I'm so happy to have you both here back again on Freedom is a Constant Struggle.
Thank you, Keila.
Wow. Let's start off with honoring Toussaint Louverture. Pierre, will you give us a little background and let our folks know who Toussaint was?
Yes, Toussaint was Toussaint Louverture. Louverture.
Louverture.
Right, and that means the opening. Right. And he got that name out of, at first he used to be referred to as Toussaint Breda, which in the way that the colonial system under slavery, the plantation you were born, that's how they identified you. You see, right. So they identified him with the Breda plantation. And so, but the name Louverture, which he adopted, he gained that really on the battlefield, because he was known he was a brilliant strategist, a military genius, and he would always create an opening. Every time they had him cornered, Toussaint would find a way to break out of that encirclement. So they started calling him the opening. He would always create an opening. Very creative man. And Toussaint was according to the history records, Toussaint was the great-grandson or the grandson of an Alada, the kingdom of the Aladas, the Alada people from Africa, from around Benin, I believe, in Central Africa. And he was the grandson of the king, Gaouguinou, so according to the history books. And so Toussaint ended up in slavery in Haiti. At that time, it was known as Saint-Domingue. But as a youth, he was, according to the early text, he was a very thin kid. But he and he used to be made fun of. But he disciplined himself, toughened his body, and worked hard. And he learned how to read and write, and he was very knowledgeable about plants, and he started working a lot with animals, and particularly he was quite a horseman. And all this helped him, and he gained a reputation as being a wise person. So by the time he was in his 50s, Toussaint had gained a good reputation. So when Boukman Dotti and Cecile Fatima launched the slave uprising, Toussaint was believed that Toussaint was among the people in attendance, though he didn't join openly the uprising until later on. And so, but very quickly...
And Cecile Fatima was female.
Yes, she was the Vodou priestess, the Mambo, who, along with Boukman Dotti, originally from Jamaica, they were the two who officiated at the religious ceremony that launched the whole movement, the slave uprising of 1791, Boakaima ceremony. So Toussaint quickly became a leader, and in the battlefields, he was recognized in terms of as a military strategist, and he, in his many encounters, he quickly rose up in the ranks and in the esteem of his comrades.
Right.
And so at one point they joined the Spanish because the Spanish were trying to recruit the enslaved population that had risen up. So the Spanish were trying to recruit them to fight against the French so they could take over the colony. You see, because at that time it was France's richest colony. But when Toussaint realized the Spanish were just using him and they had no desire to abolish slavery, he switched sides. Even though the Spanish were close to taking over the entire island, the western third, which was Saint-Domingue, Toussaint switched sides. By that time, the French Revolution was on, and the French were actually recognizing, they had no choice. But the revolution really gave they meant that they would abolish slavery. So Toussaint joined the French, defeated the Spanish, and as such became general in the French armies, and later on unified the island under his command and was named Governor General of the island by the revolutionary French government. So by the time Napoleon came and overthrew the revolutionary government in France and tried to restore slavery, Toussaint stood up against Napoleon and engaged him in battle. And I want to conclude with that. One poignant thing about him is that his two sons were studying in France. And so one was his biological son, the other one was his adopted son. And so Napoleon sent them to Toussaint asking him to make a choice to whether he would stay with France. And Toussaint explained to his sons what the struggle was about. And his biological son he told them, now you guys have to choose. So according to the history, the biological son said, well, he'll go back to France. But his adoptive son said, Dad, wherever you are, this is where I'm going to be. And I'm raising that to show the tragedy as a human being, as a father, dealing with all of that, you see.
Right.
And so, and as you mentioned, by 18, he was betrayed by the French, kidnapped. And in 1803, after they had signed a treaty where they would, after much battle in which it was fought to a stalemate, the French actually kidnapped him and sent him to France, where he was ill-treated, tortured, and eventually starved. And he died on April 7th, 1803. But he made that statement. He said by the day of his capture in May of 1802, he said, in overthrowing me, you have only cut down the trunk of the tree of liberty, but it will grow back again because the roots are numerous and they are deep. What he meant was the people of Haiti.
Right, and basically they defeated the British, and as well as the French.
That's correct. And I'm glad you mentioned the British, because Britain was also at the time trying to take over where the Spanish had failed. Actually, both of them were.
The Spanish, that's what I couldn't think.
Yeah.
They defeated Spain as well.
Spain and the British
and slavers big time.
Yeah, and the British tried to get in to take over, but then Toussaint was fighting on both fronts. the Spanish and the British, and defeated them both. And then when Napoleon tried to restore slavery there, Toussaint fought him to a stalemate. And but what he predicted was that the Haitian people, even though he was cut down, but the Haitian people continued the struggle.
Exactly.
And in 1803, November 18th, was the final battle against the troops of Napoleon and their defeat. And in 1804, Haiti proclaimed its independence officially. That was the
Officially.
party. Yeah,
Right.
but it
I
had
love
been
it.
declared
Yes.
back in, I
Thank you.
believe, in December or late November of
Okay.
1803.
Okay. All right. Robert, let's fast forward a little bit and talk about the period that you went to Haiti and what was going on.
Well, actually, the bio should be a little updated because Pierre and I went over this past summer.
That's right. I remember because
we went
were
over
here.
this past summer, and we went at the beginning of the electoral campaign.
Right, and we want to talk about
Yeah,
that.
that culminated in these phony elections that the
Exactly.
people have been protesting ever since. But we went at a time. We went in late June, right?
That's correct.
We went in late June of 2016, when
15.
2015 when Maurice Narcisse, who was the presidential candidate of Famille Lavalas, which is Aristide's party, was beginning to launch her campaign,
Right.
and in which Famille Lavalas was running candidates for the first time since what was it for
Since 2000.
since 2000, right? Because they had been banned,
Right.
and in 2000 they had won not only the presidency under Aristide, but they had swept all, they had dominated all of the parliamentary elections
Right.
and local elections as well.
Yeah.
And so the coup that overthrew the Aristide government in 2004 didn't only end up kidnapping Aristide and kidnapping, and that's what the Haitians call a modern day kidnapping, and compare it to what Pierre was talking about Toussaint,
Right.
right? When the French kidnapped Toussaint,
Mm-hmm.
what happened to Aristide is always compared to that,
Right.
right?
Correct.
But it also ousted about 8,000 officials who had been democratically elected, who were Lavalas
Right.
officials who had been
And
elected.
Lavalas is the political party of the overwhelming majority of
overwhelming
Haitians,
majority of
led
Haitians.
by Jean-Bertrand Aristide.
Exactly. So here we are. If you fast forward that to 2015, you have Lavalas running for the first time since then and mounting a very massive and popular political campaign headed by
Dr. Marcis.
headed by Dr. Marcis, who's a longtime Lavalas militant,
Right.
a medical doctor who has been through all phases of the struggle
Beautiful woman.
in Haiti, right? And I remember being in Haiti in both 2007 and 2009, when Lavalas in some ways was at its most battered. From the coup, the series of defections, the series of internal COINTELPRO style, struggles that have been, if you think about the impact of a coup on a political party, if you think of what happened to the Panthers,
Right.
if you think of what happened, when a political movement is under that kind of attack. And I remember Dr. Narcisse being like the steel of Lavalas in that period of time, fighting the battle to maintain that party.
I think sisters are the glue that hold these movements together.
Yeah, well, there was no question. There was absolutely no question throughout the world, in this country,
Yeah, yes, everywhere.
and
Everywhere,
definitely,
that's true.
definitely in Haiti, and so here she was beginning to run a campaign for president of Haiti, and if elected, she would be the first elected woman president of Haiti.
Right.
Now,
Yeah. But I just have to inject that she is the complete opposite of Hillary Clinton. Okay?
no
you couldn't
doubt.
get more opposite.
Well, Hillary Clinton, who, as we know, was the Secretary of State, and at the crux of both the coup in Honduras. You know, we know that Berta Cáceres, who just was murdered in Honduras, a tremendous indigenous
woman activist,
environmental activist, right? Who was just murdered by the leadership that Hillary Clinton and the Obama administration helped to put into power and maintain. Hillary Clinton has played that same role in Haiti. Hillary Clinton helped put Martelly, you know,
I'm very aware of that.
into power. Martelly really was the dictator who has finally been ousted in Haiti, and also a total misogynist.
He is so vulgar from
right?
all the reports that I've heard.
Yeah.
He's a nasty man.
And so, you know, Hillary Clinton, after the earthquake, was the Secretary of State who went to Haiti after the earthquake, along with her husband, Bill Clinton, and announced that Haiti is now open for business.
Right, and they're trying to build some industrial park, you know, so they can exploit the hell out of Haitian labor as per usual.
And the current special envoy to Haiti, who has been pushing to not have a thorough investigation of the last results of what Haitians call an electoral fraud. Lavalas is demanding a thorough investigation of the elections that took place in 2015 in order to basically have another run at what really happened and to see who really won those elections. The U.S. State Department has said we want to maintain the results of those elections, which put a Martelly minion in first place and a Preval candidate who was, you know, former head of state in second place, and put Maurice Narcisse, who's the Lavalas candidate, in fourth place. That's what the U.S. wants. The U.S.
Actually,
wants
fifth place.
What?
Fifth place. No, fourth.
Fourth place. Fourth place. It's bad, but it's fourth place. And the U.S. wants Lavalas. Their strategy is to have that election move forward and have Lavalas, the Lavalas votes suppressed, and have Maurice Narcisse and the Lavalas party not take power in Haiti. And Hillary Clinton, the Obama administration, the current special envoy to Haiti, Kenneth Merton, they're all at the center of that
I'm well
policy.
aware of that. And you know what drives me up a wall is when it's reported Aristide's return in, what was it, 94? When he was exiled for 3 years, right? From 91 to 94.
Yes.
Okay, when he returned, and you were on the plane with him when he returned, and
one of the planes.
One of the planes.
Not the one carrying him.
Not the one carrying him. Oh, okay. But you went there with him.
Yes.
To be with him. And Clinton takes all this credit for returning Aristide to power when it wasn't Clinton at all. It was a huge demand. I mean, we worked our butts off right here in the Bay Area.
Exactly.
To, organizing. And people organized everywhere. All over in the East Coast, you know, in Haiti and everywhere, there was the demand for Aristide's return. So they had no choice, and of course they stalled until his term was just about ended.
Precisely.
You know,
and the Haitian people were demanding that President Aristide, because he was elected for a 5-year term, and they were demanding that he recoup his 3 years in office. But the Clintons, President Clinton himself, blocked that from happening.
Exactly.
And so that was the continued undermining of not only President Aristide, but the desire of the Haitian people and what they wanted to see achieved.
Exactly.
In Haiti. Their whole program, which President Aristide symbolized, because he was actually carrying out the program of the people.
Exactly.
Which was investing in people, building schools, building hospitals, providing agricultural infrastructure so that our people could produce their own food and to have our food production and health care for the people. So this was the program, and to use the mineral resources of the country to help develop the country to the benefit of the Haitian population.
And now you have Hillary Clinton's brother-in-law, Tony, Rodham, over there taking over the gold mines. Isn't that right?
That's correct. He's been
really
as receiving one of the concessions to a gold mine that has been, it's been reported that nobody knows how this thing magically happened. But for all of us who know, we know that how it's...
They're some nasty people, the Clintons. They really are corrupt as hell.
And you also have the Newmont, the Newmont Corporation, the mining corporations based in Canada. And Canada really was an integral part of the coup in 2004. And for example, there was just the report of the rapes in Guatemala.
Right.
That the mining companies in Guatemala were involved in, and they're being sued in court. And the same kind of these mining corporations that take indigenous land, and most of them are based in Canada. And Canada has claimed that these Canadian-based companies, which also have connections to the U.S., they've claimed the rights to the mines in northern Haiti and the western part of Haiti.
Wow.
And
That's right.
So it's a lot of people will say that Haiti doesn't have resources. Haiti doesn't, Haiti is not a rich country. The second that the earthquake happened, like when Clinton said Haiti
in 2010,
in 2010, when they said Haiti was open for business, they meant it. They came in and these developers came in, and Martelly, the reason that they supported Martelly is that Martelly sold the country to them.
Precisely.
Martelly gave them all the mineral wealth. He gave them all the land rights.
He's their puppet.
And he was completely their puppet. And just like all the puppets around the world, all the neo-colonial puppets around the world, he sold the country out from under the people.
Right.
And that's why they chose him. And that's why one of the reasons they don't want a Lavalas government.
Right.
Because they know that the Lavalas government will be a government that sees Haiti
by
as
and
sovereign.
really for the people.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
correct. And
Yes.
right now, for example, that's what the struggle on the ground is about, because a number of grassroots leaders and people, when they are calling the radio stations, they are calling Radio Timon and other stations, they clearly express that this parliament, this fraudulent parliament that's being imposed on the people of Haiti, was handpicked in order to make legal all the illegal land grabs that were occurring. And so when the people are demanding that this fraud be investigated and exposed, those who have been rightfully elected should retain their position, and those who were found to have been handpicked and put in there fraudulently, they should go out. The U.S. State Department is completely opposed to this.
Of course.
Because they know that these are their henchmen.
This is neo-colonialism. And look
time.
what's going on in Puerto Rico. That's a whole nother story,
right.
but
That's correct.
connect the dots. Just look at that.
Exactly.
They've made debt peon. What's the word? Peonage.
Peonage.
Peonage out of Puerto Rico. It's so nasty, The bankruptcy laws don't apply to them. They've got $1 zillion. They can't provide services to the people or nothing. The university students can't go to school. All this kind of stuff. It's hitting the people so hard of Puerto Rico, and the same kind of stuff is happening all over the world. I want to go to talk about how vicious the military has been in Haiti, and I also want to talk about the cholera epidemic that the UN troops brought. But before we get to that, I thought we would show a clip of Kevin Pina's film titled Haiti, We Must Kill the Bandits. And before you get misunderstand that title, I have to say to you that the UN and the in combination with the UN troops are referred to with the are called the French acronym MINUSTA, and they are in cahoots with the I might as well call them Tonton Macoute, with the Haitian military, who have become just like the Duvalier.
The Haitian police.
The Haitian police.
It's easy to say both terms because...
Right, no,
you know,
but I mean, they're ridiculous. But
yeah,
they're behaving the same way. So I wanted to talk about that, and then talk about how the UN troops from Nepal brought cholera into the country, and the UN will not acknowledge that they brought it in there, and Haiti never had cholera before, and Nepal has a history of it, and now Haitians are suffering. How many thousands? Tens of thousands.
Over 9,000, but the number is much higher.
Well,
of course.
It's about 10,000. The estimates are about 10,000 dead, and probably 900,000 cases infected by now.
Cholera.
Yes.
And in a country that has almost no infrastructure for hospitals and health care.
That's correct.
Okay? So anyway, let's play the clip with thanks, Andrew. That's a perfect quote to have started off.
Yes.
Joining us now from Ground Zero in Port-au-Prince is our special correspondent, Kevin Pina.
Today I visited what's called the old section of the capital, or La Ville. You've got to remember that when this quake struck on January the 12th before 5 o'clock, this is one of the most concentrated populations in the country. So when that quake struck, it must have literally killed over 100,000 people in that area. It's utterly destroyed. There's nothing left of the heart of the commerce district of this capital.
One protester was killed today as United Nations forces opened fire during the funeral procession of Catholic priest Father Gerard Jean-Just. Eyewitnesses report today's shooting incident involving the United Nations began after mourners began chanting slogans for the return of ousted President Jean-Bertrand Aristide outside of Haiti's National Cathedral. People may remember that I reported that in April and June earlier this year that Lavalas was excluded from senatorial elections. We know that then Famille Lavalas began a successful boycott campaign. They kept the participation to less than 10%. Haiti has no prime minister. Jacques-Edouard Alexis, his government fell from no confidence, as people are saying, as a result of the so-called unrest in Haiti over the price of rice and beans. Thousands of people throughout the country, not just in Port-au-Prince, but Port-au-Prince, Cap-Haïtien, which is Haiti's second largest city, La Caille, the third largest city, as well as 4 other cities that we know of. Thousands of people took to the streets demanding again that Jean-Bertrand Aristide be allowed to return from exile in South Africa to assume his life again as part of his people, as a member of Haitian society.
We've been receiving images, we've been receiving videotapes. I've been in touch with people on the ground who've described the situation to me in detail, and it's again clear that the United Nations is responsible for having targeted unarmed civilians in what they claim were raids that were aimed at quote-unquote kidnapping bases inside of the seaside shanty town of Cité Soleil.
I first went to Haiti after Father Jean-Bertrand Aristide, a Catholic priest, ran for the presidency in 1990. He won by a landslide, and I then decided to produce a documentary about his election and the changes it would bring to Haiti. In September 1991, after only 6 months in office, he was overthrown in a brutal military coup backed by Haiti's small wealthy elite. returned to Haiti a few days after Aristide was forced into exile and began chronicling human rights abuses committed by the Haitian military.
Today I interviewed victims of the coup in the General Hospital in the capital of Port-au-Prince, Haiti. They spoke of indiscriminate attacks by soldiers throughout the capital and surrounding areas the day of the coup and the days following the coup. There are still no official statistics on the number of civilians killed, but anonymous hospital sources place the figure at approximately 800 in the capital of Port-au-Prince.
The brutality of the military regime forced thousands of Haitians to flee by boat. International condemnation of the Haitian military became nearly unanimous in November 1993 when the New York Times revealed that the military high command behind the coup had been on the CIA payroll for over a decade. In June 1994, it was revealed that those same officers had transformed Haiti into the major transshipment point of cocaine bound for the United States. This led the Clinton administration to intervene in Haiti in September 1994, ostensibly to restore the democratic government of Jean-Bertrand Aristide. Aristide returned from exile just before his term in office expired. It became common knowledge that he planned to run for a second term in the next presidential elections scheduled for 2000. Voters turned out in large numbers despite a campaign of intimidation, including pipe bombs and drive-by shootings that began 2 weeks prior to Election Day.
The voters appeared dignified and were imbued with a consciousness of their role as citizens and participants in the democratic process.
The population's joy was ultimately short-lived.
He was also overthrown again in February 2004 in what has alternately been called a popular revolt and a bloody takeover led by former military and death squads.
After United Nations forces took control of Haiti following Aristide's ouster in 2004, they would come to align themselves with Haiti's wealthy elite and business community in calling anyone who opposed the takeover gangsters and bandits. Bandits became an especially popularized term to label the Lavalas resistance movement. It was often invoked to justify their imprisonment and slaughter. This is their story, as seen through my eyes and the lens of my camera.
And we're back with Pierre Lavoisier and Robert Roth, co-founders of the Haiti Action Committee, and let's talk about that first 7 minutes of Kevin's film, Haiti.
Yeah,
we must kill the bandits.
Yeah, the black and white photos, the black and white footage is from the U.S. Marines' first occupation of Haiti, from 1915 to 1934. Yeah. And that occupation also faced stiff resistance by the population. It's been estimated that over 20,000 Haitians were killed in concentration camps, in massacres of villagers, and also it was at that time dropping bombs was just barely beginning, and Haiti was a training ground for the use of airplanes to drop bombs on people. So very early on,
I didn't know that.
Yes, that was one of the very first places.
Why doesn't it surprise me, though?
Places. So that's what this is referring to. And people in Haiti do not forget that. And what I want to say also is that President Aristide, on his return the first time in 1995, when the people of Haiti stated that they had suffered enough from the Haitian military, which, by the way, it wasn't the same military that gave us the victory over Napoleon and the Spanish and the British slave owners. This was a military that was set up during the first U.S. Marine occupation of Haiti. And its role was to repress the population after the Marines left. So that in 1995, when President Aristide returned, the people said they had suffered enough. All those decades of repression by the Haitian military, they want them out. They want them gone. No more. They were getting 40% of the national budget. They said that money could be better put to use, building hospitals and building schools for the people, and this is what that money was used for. Now, in 2004, with the coup d'etat, the UN forces that came in did replace the Haitian military in repressing the population when the population was demanding their right to vote, was demanding their right to participate in the affairs of their country.
Right. And some of the people that you wouldn't expect to be sending occupation troops to Haiti, Brazil, Canada, we don't think of those countries as imperialist or, but what are they doing, sending troops to occupy and repress the Haitian people? Is it just pure racism?
Well, I think that they're doing the United States a big favor in Haiti. Like, if you think about it, it was 2004 when the occupation began. The United States was involved in Iraq, in the Middle East, and I'm absolutely sure there were like high-level negotiations with the governments of Brazil, Argentina, Ecuador, Chile, France, all of those countries. When I went to Haiti on June 30th of 2004, which was the day that the U.S. shifted over power, U.S. and Canada and France kind of shifted the power over to MINUSTA, and there was a changing of the guard at the airport. And France gave over, in the north, gave over its control over to Chile. And the U.S. gave over the control in Port-au-Prince over to Brazil. And the Jordanians took control in Cité Soleil, all right? And so this is a world occupation. Is there racism involved? Absolutely. It's a worldwide racist occupation of Haiti that's continued basically uncondemned, and so the kinds of shooting that you saw on this film, like this happened months ago in Haiti. The same thing took place during demonstrations against these fraudulent elections. There were examples of the UN killing protesters in Haiti just literally
just like
months
the police
ago.
Kill protesters in Oakland.
Absolutely.
Well, they don't kill protesters outright as much as they just kill individuals
and
cover it up.
And the example of cholera that you brought up, if you think about it, UN forces from Nepal dumped their excrement into a Haitian river.
Exactly.
Completely with no concern about sanitation, and brought cholera to Haiti. It reminded me of Flint. It reminded me of the same kind
of thing.
The same kind
and they're
of...
doing the same kind of thing and appointing emergency managers like they did in Detroit, Cleveland, in right?
Mm-hmm. And thousands of deaths later, the UN has taken no responsibility for it, even though there are lawsuits, IJDH, and other organizations have filed lawsuits against the UN, right? They're finally being heard in court. But the UN has refused to take, they deny that they've even done this,
Well, not only that, but how do you go up against a country legally when they refuse to recognize the International Criminal Court?
That's right.
That's correct.
Okay? So you can't bring them to the international court, although they bring Africans in a minute, and Europe, they brought, what's his name, Milosevic, and prosecuted him, and, others. But the U.S., you can't prosecute anybody from the U.S. in international. Who should be? I mean, for goodness sakes, the Bush and Rumsfeld and all those guys, Cheney, and should have been prosecuted for their criminality, But they'll never be prosecuted. And the same thing holds true. What you're talking about is that these are criminals. These political people are criminals, and they're getting away with murder.
And cholera will be in Haiti for generations.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And, the thing was also that a number of the villagers in the area, they said it about 3 weeks after it became public that cholera was in the area. People didn't know. They made the connection. People aren't stupid. They know what's going on. They used the water and they started getting sick. And so they knew. And the mayor of the I forgot the name of the town where it first appeared, it was downstream from the UN base. So the correlation was just direct. And he said that he denounced them for dropping their waste, their fecal matter into the river. And the UN, which was underground in Haiti, had all this infrastructure, helicopters that they were using to shoot down our brothers and sisters. They had all of that stuff, all kinds of monies, all kinds of health experts. They could have tried to move in rapidly to contain this illness, to tell the population about it.
It only takes a 10-cent package of salts or something.
Precisely. No, instead they invested in trying to cover up their tracks, doing a lot of public relations, which they are still engaged in doing today. And so in that way, the cholera spread all over the whole country. And now there's a flare-up of it. I was just talking to someone in Haiti just before I got here, and he was telling me how there is a big flare-up in all the various neighborhoods where there are poor people. The conditions are atrocious. The main hospital in Port-au-Prince, the main public hospital known as l'Hôpital Général, the General Hospital, he said this is insane. The lack of care. Just to get basic care. Just to get basic care. For example, if you get injured, you go to the hospital. Now, I'm quoting him and also other people. First thing they do is they give you a prescription where you are supposed to buy your own syringe, gauze, everything else that you need to take care of you, unless you have money to go and purchase it and bring it back to the hospital so they can start treating you. It's like good luck if you have no money.
Exactly. And I've just heard on one of the radio programs about people having to bring water to the hospital, their own water.
Of course.
So
it's
to have a baby, you got to bring your own water.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I want to emphasize that Haiti is under United Nations, U.S., United States, Canada, France, European Union occupation.
Yes, they are.
You see? And so that means these are the richest countries on this earth who claim that Haitians were so inept at self-government that they were coming to lift up Haiti, get Haitians out of poverty.
Well, that's because Haitians the overwhelming majority of Haitians are black and not light-skinned blacks.
That's correct.
And the bottom line is that they've been determined from day one after 1804's victory to repress, to punish, to destitute Haitians.
That's correct.
Yes. And 2 weeks ago, the special envoy to Haiti, Kenneth Merton, who's a total racist, total colonialist.
Yeah.
And he represents the Obama administration in Haiti.
Well, Obama...
He said, talking about the elections, he said, Haiti has to take its first step on the ladder to self-government. Like there's a ladder that people have to climb. Go step one, step two.
I know.
This is a man talking about Haiti.
I know.
And, and the reality is, it's
the
unbelievable
the arrogance.
The arrogance, right?
Condescension.
Exactly.
The whole 9 yards.
And in a situation where this is what occupation has brought. to Haiti, right? These are the occupiers. It's old style colonialism. Like it's really naked.
It's really
there.
blatant.
It's really blatant.
Yes, it is.
It's really naked.
And people, please remember that Haiti is only 700 miles off the shores of Florida.
Yeah.
And you know,
For
Kilo,
goodness
this is why-
sakes, they're our neighbors, and we are the worst neighbors in the world to have.
And you know, Kilo, that's why shows like yours are so important. You see, because there are so many lies after the success of the Haitian Revolution. And I want people to identify themselves with Haiti, to know that it was African people who were kidnapped and enslaved, who after the boat made many stops indeed.
Yes.
And so it was after, you know, the victory over slavery when these Africans from different parts of Africa came together, rose up, and defeated those forces and declared themselves free. That's when they said, okay, now how are we going to call the land? And they decided to call it Haiti, which many people now have traced the name back to Swahili, which means do not obey. Not to obey.
I love it.
And this is the slogan on the ground in
Resist.
Haiti right now. Resist. And people are saying, we are not obeying. So in other words, when a racist like Kenneth Merton is saying to the people of Haiti, as Robert said, you have to go, you start at the bottom rung now, and they tell him to go to hell. Excuse the language.
Right.
But they said, no, we are not obeying you.
Oh, really?
And people say
I love
that
the courage. You have to
they are
respect the
fighting.
courage of
So-
the Haitian people.
So the thing is, people have to see if he can say that about black people in a place called Haiti, which we call Haitians. That's the same way he feels about a black person right here in the Bay Area,
You know
in
it.
Oakland, in the U.S., in
Hell
Africa.
yeah. Hell yeah, of
So
course.
what you do to your brother or your sister,
Yeah.
to my brother and that's what you do to me.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know what I'm excited about? The Panama Papers. Woo! Wait till wait till all the dirt comes out of these multi-billionaires hiding their money all over the world, and right here in the United States, in Wyoming and Nevada and places. I mean, it's gonna all fall out. And I know I'm paying it. Ooh, it's gone. Oh, we ran out of time, folks. Thank you, Pierre Labossiere and Robert Roth and Andrew Montoya, and thank you for tuning in to Cape Freedom is a Constant Struggle.